Hey, what's up, man? This is DaveTV. You are watching us at the Vans Warped Tour in San Antonio, 21 years strong, and it's a pretty nice Texas day for hot weather. Hopefully the wind will start blowing again and we'll be good. Chris from Census Fail, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
You know, I'm making it through. How's Warped Tour been treating you? Have you been on since Pomona?
Yes. Very hot.
It's not as bad as Arizona, I understand?
Arizona was horrible.
Yeah. And it's, what, 8-9 days in now?
I believe so. Yeah, I kind of stopped paying attention because it becomes Groundhog Day every day, you know, so.
Is it anything stand out for you so far on the tour? And, you know, like highlights, you going in and just kicking ass and doing it and taking off to the next one? What's it like?
Hot. It's good. All the shows have been really great and we've been having a wonderful time. But if there's a thing that's ubiquitous amongst the tour, it's the heat.
Absolutely. It's a wonderful time of year for a tour, huh? Outdoor venues, blacktops.
I haven't done a summer tour in quite some time. I've been off the past few summers, or the times prior I was in Europe for festivals, and Europe is, you know, northern, closer to the North Pole, so it's kind of a bit like California winters, you know?
Yeah. I was going to say, this is a totally different environment for the band, and how did you get involved with this? What was the mindset behind doing Warped?
I mean, I was just told that we got the offer and that we were going to do it, and I like touring and I like going out and playing shows and being active, so it was kind of a no-brainer.
A lot of people, man, a lot of people to play to, and new faces. I'm sure probably a higher percentage of new faces, would you say, than you really normally play to?
It's hard to tell. I'm somewhat of a newer addition to the band. I started working with them about a year ago, and this is my third tour with them, so familiar faces, but also definitely a few new faces. Yeah. So it's good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very good. And as far as writing process goes, how does that work for you guys? Do you do it when you're off the road, when it happens, you know, organically, or what? How does that all happen?
Well, generally, I just wrote and recorded a record with them, first record. So the way it's kind of come to mind is Bud, the singer Buddy, who's the original member, and he kind of steers the ship, says, hey, I want to make this type of record. And we sit down and we just kind of start putting the stuff together, and stuff that's really good is great, and then stuff that's not so great gets pushed to the side, and we just kind of forge through.
Were you a fan of the band before you got the job in the band?
I didn't know anything about the band prior, yeah. I knew their bass player, Gavin, who I'd worked with prior in the past, and I had met their old drummer, Dan, who's a bud of mine, and I met Buddy in Europe with my old band, Poison the Well, 2007 or 8, I believe. Prior to that, I didn't really know much, but so far, great dudes, great band. It's been a wonderful time.
Absolutely. Meeting new people, surely, in this. I mean, Poison the Well did fairly well as well. So, guess this is the opportunity to take this the next level for you, you know?
I mean, that's kind of my thing. I play with people, you know, I play with different bands and different artists, and this is what I love doing, and whether it's a hardcore band or a punk band or a rock band or whatever, that's what I love doing, so that's what I do.
Absolutely. You checking out some of the music here, any of this stuff that you...
There's this band 68 that's on our stage. It's a two-piece, drummer and guitar player, and they do some really, really cool stuff.
I'm a big fan of two-piece things, man.
I am too. I like Death from Above 1979. I think they're really, really cool. And I play an electronic band, which is basically me and a singer. And the singer has a laptop, runs Ableton, and kind of fucks with the tracks and breaks them into different subdivisions, does weird things. So that's really fun. The two-piece dynamic is really, really great. So.
Chris Connolly's out from Revolting Cocks doing a two-piece thing. That's a lot of great tunes.
Yeah, that's awesome too. I mean, I've been in bands where it's been 4 or 5 pieces for such a long time that the 3-piece, the 2-piece, it's a welcome change because the dynamic on stage is so different, you know?
I just saw Death from Above 1979 open for Judas Priest.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
I kind of back that. They're really loud. The last show that I played with this electronic band that I played with called Big Black Delta, we played with DFA 1979 at the Troubadour, and they were really loud.
Yeah, dude.
And it was awesome.
So
they have a very loud band.
And that might be why I think I dig those two-piece things, because it's, you know, if you're there past 2 songs, you're into it. So from there on, it's a vibration you're feeling all the way through your body. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so.
I feel like it's there's the big challenge, whether it's a guitar player and a drummer, or a bass player and a drummer, or a keyboard player and a drummer. Like, you have to work to keep people's attention because it's only 2 of you. So, you know, when you have 4 or 5 people on stage, it's a bit easier.
You've doing the whole Warp Tour?
Yes, yes.
Any plans for Senses Fail after the Warp Tour? What's going on?
I think we're off for about 5 or 6 weeks, and then we go to Europe with Counterparts for about 3 weeks, which will be really, really fun. It's been, not this past summer, but the summer prior, I was in Europe with that electronic band. We were doing like Reading and Leeds and like Electric Picnic and all that stuff. So it's been a little bit since I've been to Europe, so I'm really excited to get back over there and have some fun.
Hell yeah. So the first time you got to do anything, you know, with the band, as little as you've been in there, you did get to write already. And how was that for you? Did you, I guess what I want to say is, when you go to it again, same process, or did you learn something from that you're going to do differently?
For Senses Fail? Or
yes, for Senses Fail.
For writing another record?
Yes.
Or,
yeah.
I kind of approach everything the same way. I have a very like kind of calculated, systematic way. You know, they come with me with an idea or riff, and we kind of assemble it, and then I just systematically break everything down, and that's kind of my thing. More recently, because I have ADD and it's hard for me to be behind a kit sometimes and like think outside of my comfort zone, I'll have them record like a guitar or whatever the principal lead instrument is in a click, and I'll program drums so I could just listen to it as not playing it, but just, you know, as a kind of like a bystander. And it helps a lot. It really, really helps. Or sometimes I'll just jam through something. I'll just kind of like get like I'll kind of vibe it out and be like, all right, I kind of have an idea of the way this is supposed to go, and I just kind of jam it. And some of it works, and then some of it doesn't. And the stuff that works, I keep. Some of the stuff that doesn't, I'm like, I could do better with that, or, you know, let me get rid of that. And that was, I would kind of approach it more song by song basis. Maybe one song I'll be like, I could completely jam this out. Another song is like, I have to sit down and like program this and like really have an understanding of how this is gonna work.
Do you spend much time listening to other music? Does it influence you? Do you listen to it casually? How does that work for you?
I feel like for the past year, I've just been on this weird trip where I haven't really been listening to a lot. I haven't really found something that like grabs me. I mean, there's obviously really great stuff out there in all the different genres, but I'm waiting for that like one thing to just kind of like grab my attention, you know?
And how about growing up? What was some of your music that put you on the path?
I started by listening to bands like classic rock bands. Like my first big love was like Queen. And then from there, it sort of transitioned into all the 90s alternative rock, like, you know, Nirvana, Soundgarden, which are bands that I still listen to today. And then from there, it transitioned into hardcore, transitioned to punk transitioned into hardcore, then hardcore transitioned into basically everything, where everything from like electronic music to like score music, you know, like Hans Zimmer or like Ennio Morricone, and just it just opened the palette, you know, where now it's not just one or two things, now it's like a whole spectrum. And the only thing I care about is good songwriting. It could be heavy, it could be light, like I want to hear good songs, you know.
Yeah, I used to, as I grew up, it was AM radio to begin with, which bridged into like hard rock and metal, and I spent a lot of time in that one thing, which I guess I'm glad I did. I learned a lot, but man, after I opened up, which kind of really started with Suicidal Tendencies and Black Flag, and you know, I realized there's so much more to be heard, and I'd never regret another day. I mean, I'll listen to anything now. It's amazing.
I'm the same boat. I kind of find that like the heavier stuff that I listen to now has to be a little bit more boutique, you know, if that makes any sense. Like I don't listen to a lot of heavy stuff, but the stuff I listen to is very specific and unique and kind of has its own thing. And when I feel like the mood, when I need to come to that and I need some sort of heavy inspiration, then I go to those sort of things, you know.
That's awesome. I feel a lot of people that, you know, do spend a lot of time music, there's almost no way to keep it from crossing over into your writing patterns, you know, so before they write, they really don't listen to anything and kind of, you know. Yeah,
that, or you take something over here and you apply it over here. You know, like a buddy of mine was telling me that, you know, he wrote with this dude, and a lot of the stuff was kind of like a little bit more kind of rocky, pop punky stuff, but he pulled from some other far away, like more shuffly type of stuff, drum wise, and it worked, you know, and it wasn't kind of like your run of the mill thing, you know. So I like doing that. I like taking stuff from over here and putting it over here, and then making it work and making it my own. You know?
Do you have a favorite drummer?
It's really difficult. Not really. I'm the type of guy that, like, I'll look at drummers and be like, I really admire these qualities about this guy, and take that and be like, I like this about that guy, and kind of pull pieces from all the different drummers and make it my own. You know, not sound like them, but turn it into me. You know what I mean?
I think because of the changes that he's done through his career, Bosio is probably one of my favorite ever.
Yeah, Bosio is a fantastic drummer. I'm buddies with his son Rainan, and he's a really nice kid too. And yeah, I'm actually trying to talk Rainan into talking to Terry about just giving me like a lesson. I like taking like one-off lessons and being like, show me something. You know?
I mean, of course, the Zappa and, you know, the missing persons and stuff. But in Austin, blues is crazy, which is where we're based out of.
Yeah.
My buddy is Kent, who is Omar and the Howlers, and Terry's played drums for Omar and the Howlers. Simple Blues, man, knocked it out of the park.
Yeah,
you know,
it's fantastic.
Taste is where it's at. A good song, like you said.
Song, tasteful. You know, being very tasteful and having a good feel and just giving the song what it needs. Not too much, not too little, just exactly it.
All right, brother. Well, Senses Fail, if you have not seen or heard them, what the hell? Check it out. This is DaveTV. Yeah, exactly. We're at the Warped Tour, and I want to thank you for spending time with us, my friend.
So
have a great rest of the tour.